This is not just another health tip. This is your 2025 guide to staying stroke-free, and it begins with a fruit you never suspected. Watch this once, and you may never look at your plate the same way again. You go to bed feeling fine. No chest pain, no dizziness, no warning signs, but by sunrise, something's gone terribly wrong. Your words slur, your balance is gone. Half your body no longer listens. And the worst part? It wasn't your diet, your exercise, or your age. It was something sweet, something juicy, something you thought was helping. Fruit. As a brain doctor, I've seen strokes hit silently in the night. No noise, no pain. Just one wrong signal in the brain, and everything changes. Today, I'm going to tell you what no one else is telling seniors. The 9 fruits that may be quietly raising your risk of stroke. And if you're over 60, you need to hear this. We've been told our whole lives, eat more fruit. It's natural. It's full of vitamins. It's good for your brain, your heart, your gut. But I've watched hundreds of patients, good people, smart people, collapse from strokes they never saw coming. And when we traced the cause, it wasn't salt. It wasn't fat. It was sugar. Not table sugar, but the hidden sugars trapped inside healthy fruits. Fruits that spike your blood glucose, dehydrate brain tissue, interfere with medication, and quietly raise your risk of blood clots, especially after the age of 60. I still remember a man named Robert, 67 years old, retired postal worker. He walked into my office with nothing but a slight headache. No history of smoking. He exercised every day. His only vice, fruit smoothies. He thought he was being careful. Banana, grapes, mango, all blended every morning. But what he didn't know was that his daily smoothie was a sugar bomb, loaded with fructose that bypassed the body's insulin gates and overwhelmed his liver. 3 weeks later, Robert had a stroke in his sleep. He survived, but he never walked without a cane again. That morning, I promised myself, I will not stay silent anymore. Let's start with bananas. They're soft, easy to chew, high in potassium, and yes, they have benefits. But in older adults, especially those on blood pressure meds or diuretics, bananas can send potassium levels soaring. Too much, too fast, can cause irregular heartbeats, confuse your brain's electrical signals, and in rare cases, trigger a stroke. And yet we hand them out in hospitals like candy. If you're over 60 and you eat more than 1 banana a day, you might be pushing your brain closer to danger than you think. Next, grapes. They're sweet, hydrating, easy to snack on. But they're also high in natural sugars and eaten by the handful. 1 cup, fine. 2 or 3 while watching TV? That's the equivalent of drinking soda. And if you're diabetic or pre-diabetic, even slightly, this sugar overload thickens your blood, inflames your vessels, and raises your stroke risk silently. They're small, they seem harmless, but dried fruits, like raisins, dates, and figs, are some of the most concentrated sources of natural sugar on Earth. When fruit is dried, the water is removed, but the sugar stays. What's left? A handful of dried fruit can contain more sugar than a slice of cake. For seniors, especially those on blood thinners or cholesterol medications, this sugar can spike inflammation in the blood vessels, thicken the blood, and quietly trigger mini-strokes. The kind that steal memory, coordination, and speech without ever being diagnosed. You'll just feel foggy, off, or slower. And most doctors, they miss it completely. Now, watermelon might seem like a safe choice. It's 90% water, right? But here's the truth. Watermelon causes a fast surge in blood sugar, especially when eaten on an empty stomach. That sugar rush floods the bloodstream, forcing your pancreas and brain into emergency mode. In older adults, this leads to lightheadedness, blurred vision, even sudden loss of balance. And if you're already on blood pressure medication, watermelon can amplify its effects, causing a sudden drop in blood pressure that your brain can't handle. Result? A fainting spell, or worse, a brain bleed. No added sugar, just 100% pure fruit. Sounds healthy, right? Wrong. Fruit juice, even freshly squeezed orange or apple, strips away the fiber that slows sugar absorption. What you're left with is a sugar concentrate that hits your bloodstream faster than soda. I've seen patients drink orange juice every morning, thinking they're helping their immune system, while unknowingly triggering silent insulin spikes that damage the tiny blood vessels in the brain. If you want to protect your brain, eat the fruit. Don't drink it. It's tropical, tangy, packed with vitamin C. But for seniors, pineapple can be a dangerous delight. Here's why. It contains bromelain, a natural compound that can thin your blood. Now that might sound like a good thing, until it interacts with your aspirin or warfarin, and suddenly your blood becomes too thin, too fragile. One tiny bump to the head, and it's not a bruise. It's a brain bleed. I've seen it happen, and it starts with a fruit salad at lunch. An apple a day keeps the doctor away, except when you're over 60 and already battling cholesterol, inflammation, or insulin resistance. That daily apple might not be doing what you think. Apples, especially Red Delicious and Fuji, are bred to be sweeter than ever. Modern apples have up to 3 times more sugar than apples from just 50 years ago. Eat one occasionally, fine, but every single day, combined with toast, cereal, or juice. You've built a perfect storm of sugar without realizing it. And the brain, it remembers.